I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hey my friends, today I'm going to show you how I built this continuous flow worm bin, including materials used and basic instructions so you can build one too. Look, it's tent sized. So I chose this design because it's made with simple materials and simple tools, perfect for my simple skills. So basically it uses only plywood and 2x4s, and it could easily be built without power tools. My bin, which is 2 feet by 4 feet and stands 42 inches high, required only one 8x4 plywood sheet, 5 2x4s, 5 10-foot lengths of pipe or conduit, and some 2.5-inch screws. If you want to see an 8-foot version of this bin, go check out Our Sustainable Journey, where I got this design. Let's get to work. So let's talk about building the main frame, which is the working end of the CFT and the most intricate work. This frame size dictates the size of your bin, so you build the frame how large you want your bin, taking into account the plywood walls to be added later. Choose a pipe material like PVC or galvanized steel that is at least half an inch to a full inch in diameter, and space them no more than an inch apart. You can drill holes through the 2x4 as I did, or you can just screw the pipe right into the top of the frame 2x4, which works just as well. I used CPVC piping, which was 5/8 in diameter, so I used a 5/8 auger bit drill to drill the holes. I built my frame 21 inches wide, so I cut my pipes 20 inches wide and slid them in. Thankfully, my pipe was bendy because I was clearly under-medicated drilling those holes. Lastly, I used 2.5-inch screws to put everything together. That's it for the frame. Let's talk walls. I used leftover plywood for my bin, but you can build this size bin with just one 4x8 sheet. I went with a 24-inch deep bin, which seems to be pretty much the standard for CFTs. So in my case, I cut two 24-inch high by 44-inch long walls for the length, and two 24-inch high by 21-inch wide for the ends. So with the walls cut, we can now put together the bin.
So there we have it. She has walls. Take a look down inside. Everything looking good. We did add braces in the corner here so we could attach them and flush everything up. And then we got to work on building some legs. So this was the plan, to affix legs somewhat thusly. However, if I were to do that, I won't have room. I won't be able to fit this in my tent, and that was not a consideration, because I built those legs because I also wanted to put some wheels on them. So now I'm having a bit of a dilemma. I may try them anyway. I may try them on the ends like that, and we'll see if it'll fit that way. Okay, and then I add plastic, then I am good to go. That's it. Blitz, you got anything? Nope, that's it. GoPro, stop recording. So there we go. We got legs and we got wheels.
So let's talk about legs. I decided I wanted my bin 42 inches high, which is just perfect for me to lean on. This means to build my leg, I'd cut one piece 42 inches, and the smaller piece would be 42 minus the 24-inch walls, or 18 inches. Then you screw them together, and boom, she's got legs.
So just one step left here for the CFT, and that is to add my plastic lining, which I just picked up. However, before I do that, I'm just putting together a whole bunch of bedding here, so I thought I'd give you a look at what I'm putting into it. So I mixed a little bit up the other day, and then I realized I needed a whole bunch more. So what I have in here is shredded cardboard, a little bit of shredded paper that I just had laying around that's colored, and then half a bag of cocoa coir in between these two, and then the rest is peat moss. But I also added a pretty good portion, maybe a liter of nice old coffee grounds. So those are in there too. So that's what's in there right now. Now a little bit dry, so I am going to add some water, but first I'm going to amend it a little bit. And for that, I have, since I added quite a bit of peat moss, and the reason I'm using peat moss is because this big bad boy works out to, I think, 7 cubic liters or whatever, 107 liters. That's $14, whereas Coco Coir is 4 times the price for a quarter the amount. So what I have here is just lime, so I'm going to throw a little in there because I am using the peat moss, and it does have a tendency to be a little high pH. So we'll see if we can adjust that a little bit with a little bit of lime, which won't hurt. And I am also going to do a similar thing here with this diatomaceous earth. Probably about the same amount. It's like about a cup, half cup. Whoop. So a little bit of that. Add some nice silica in there. The worms will process for me. So we're going to mix that in. I am going to add a little water after I mix it. Is that everything? Oh yeah, one more thing. Because I have it, I often add other forms of grit as well, but I have a worm chow that adds grit with glacial rock dust as well as eggshell. And since I have some here, I'm also going to add some eggshell. Watch out for that dust, that's killer. Okay, I think that should do it. So I'm going to give it a little stir and then wet it down, and then I'm going to get the plastic onto the CFT for the last step. Hey pal, are you christening it? And then she'll be ready to go, and then we'll be loading the worms and the bedding. So I'll get to the mixing. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, here's the situation. There's the new CFT bin. There is the 2x4 tent that it is meant to go in. I'm not sure if it's going to. No big deal if it doesn't, but I just thought I'd give you a look at the present situation of my bins here. Just to give you a look at the material before it gets loaded into the CFT. Oops, the ghosts are at it again. Alright, let's take a look. So, this material here is quite beautiful. In fact, it's very close to well done castings here, and that is part of the reason why I wanted to get this done as quickly as possible, because I didn't really want to attempt to extract these castings with all these worms in them. I just thought it would be easier if I put them in a CFT and I would let the worms move out of it naturally, and I could extract the castings more easily, because I'm not in any hurry to get using these castings. Well, I am, but this seems like an easier way. Let's take a look down here where the food is. This is where your majority of worms are going to be hanging out, because I've been feeding them down here. So there you can see good collection of worms here, and that's also part of the reason why I wanted to get the CFT going, is that the population in this bin has been fairly static seemingly since it got up to about this level, so I'm wondering if they need a little more space. So that is the current condition of my bins. They're all about the same. Good moisture level as far as I'm concerned. Would still be a little bit wet if you were trying to sift, but really nice for them. Nice in between moisture. So the other two little tubs are approximately the same, and they have about the same amount of material. Kind of about 4 inches, there might be 5 in this one, in each of these bins. And the big bin here is actually the most densely populated. She has a really good population of worms in there. So this is the plan. First, I'm going to test and see if I can get this in there, and if not, I'll just remove the tent. I'll just have that the CFT sitting here. But my plan is a little bit different than most people, because these castings are so close to being ready. What I'd like to do is have those on the bottom of the CFT. So I'm actually going to put the worms on the bottom, which may be a mistake, we'll see. And then I'm going to put my new bedding on top, put some food in the new bedding on top, and I'm hoping that they will rise up. That is the plan. Hopefully it works out. So I'm going to get these bins out here and see if I can fit that thing in here. All right, that's it for now. GoPro, stop recording. Change of plans. Since I've realized now that it's a little bit difficult to get this into the tent, but now I have it in there and I can zip it up closed, I'm going to leave it in there and I'm going to fill it as is. So first off, I'm going to take a look here. I actually did wet this down last night, but I'll have to do it again. But I'm going to wet down this brown paper that I've used at the bottom here. Wet her down. Should be good. So that moisture will stay in there, will get retained after I put the worms and material in, which I'm going to do right now. Now it's going to be a little bit trickier doing it in the tent. However, I think that's easier than filling it out and then getting it back in the tent. So we're gonna start with the worms, as I said, and the bedding material that I made will go on afterwards. So let's see how we can do this to the least troublesome method. Anybody on there? Nope. Good. All right. Is everybody ready? Here we go.
And just like that, my 2-foot by 4-foot CFT in a tent is up and operational. It really is a pretty easy project, and this design can be adapted to just about any size you might need. For me, replacing 3 small totes with this small CFT will allow me to significantly increase my worms and castings while effectively decreasing the amount of my effort needed, leaving me more time to make worm videos. That's a win-win-win. So make sure you come back soon to see how our new CFT, aka the worms in the tent, are doing. For those that can't wait, here's me exploring the new CFT for the first time. I'll see you next time.
I ain't going back, I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.